Jewel had come to me and he had asked what Reiki was, and it was really out of the blue. And I'm like, why do you want to know? And he's just like, oh, I was curious, somebody was talking about it. So I told him about my experience, which I talked about last week, which was back in 2013 when I was working for, well, I was interviewing for this cleaning company. The owner had just finished her Reiki certification, and I was sick at the time, and she offered to do a healing for me. So I agreed, and I went to her place, and I laid on her table, and she asked if she could do her prayer, her incantation, and I said, yeah, that's fine. But while she was doing it, I did my own prayer. And I said that I would accept the healing part, but I removed the spiritual aspect of it. And her Reiki actually was a little different, and I kind of want to reach out to somebody who might know her to kind of get in contact with her again, because she was using like hot rocks. So I don't know if she was just using two different therapies like I do, or if she was trained with a different type of Reiki, but I'd like to figure that one out, because she was using these heavier black like rocks that you would use for like a heat massage, the stone massage. And I didn't really realize that till a day or two ago, but it'd be interesting to figure that one out. So Jewel had asked about that, so I told him that experience, and after that, like, it didn't come up again, but him asking that was stuck in my mind. So for the next few months, like I wasn't actively thinking about it, but every once in a while it would just come up in my mind, oh, why did he ask that? So I would ask Jewel, hey, do you remember why you asked about Reiki? And he goes, no, I don't remember. And then it would happen again. I go, do you remember? And he just goes, no, I don't. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason that it's stuck in my mind and why I can't get it out. And he can't remember what he asked even in the first place. So I had to figure out why it was stuck in my head. So I went and started looking up just generic information about it, but I wasn't finding the information that I was looking for. I was just kind of getting like the basic, like what it is. Hey, Kristen. And I wanted to know more about like why and how does it work. And personally, I'm more interested in like the scientific aspect of things. So knowing how things work on a scientific level is actually kind of important to me. So I kind of needed to pick that apart as well. So I did some research and I found a free Reiki course. So the information of all of the levels are free. You just pay for your attunements and your certification diploma. So I thought, great, I can just get the information that, anybody would get if they were going to, study this. But I didn't really have any intention at the beginning to get the certification. So I went through the whole first level of Reiki, which is self-healing and healing for others. And it really sparked my interest. So when I was finished with it, I went ahead and I sent the request in for the attunement and the diploma. And let's see, I have my notes. Like, I literally, like, if I take a course, like, I'm writing everything out word for word, so. And then even in the course, they talk about how even after you take any kind of Reiki course that you should continue to search similar things and research Reiki and try different techniques and kind of make it your own and follow kind of where it leads you. So during my first attunement, which is when another master will attune you to the level that you studied, so it's like levels of being able to access the energy and different things that you're able to do with it. So during my attunement, I honestly wasn't expecting much to happen, because they even say, you know, you might not actually physically feel anything, but it's working on a subconscious level. It's working on a level that you are not physically aware of in your mental state. So what actually happened with me was I had warm radial energy throughout my body. In my arms, I had like waves of energy, and I had this feeling of just contentment and acceptance, and that for me was very reassuring that I was on the right path, and that what I had learned actually is or can be physically felt. That will actually be different for everybody, and even if you're getting a treatment, you might not have any physical sensations, but personally having those sensations made it more finite for me. Right after I finished, I had done a treatment on my husband, and we did it where he was sitting instead of laying down, just because it takes about half the time, because you're working both on the front and the back at the same time. And when I got to his heart chakra, and I wasn't even really touching him, like I was like maybe like an inch away off of his body, but it got so hot, and he thought I had like a heating element on him, because his heart chakra was so blocked, and the heat was like intense, and he almost couldn't stand it, so I had to move on. So for me and for him, that experience was very eye-opening to what Reiki can do, or how it it can present itself. And he's not always one to jump on alternative things, but he's even asked me multiple times again for another session, so that should tell you something.